Team, hey, good afternoon. Hope you're doing well. First and foremost, hope you're healthy. Hope your loved ones are healthy and everyone in your life is doing well. Um, Appreciate everyone's effort and support of one another. I've heard some amazing examples and stories this week of you guys reaching out to one another, supporting each other in the work, and certainly emotionally having each other's back during a very odd, uncertain period of time. I appreciate how stressful this is in both your personal as well as your professional life, and thanks for everything you're doing. Also wanted to say thanks for everyone who's reached out. I have a number of questions that we've received. I think what is on your heart and your mind are on all our hearts and all our minds, and so I just wanted to take this moment to share and have you hear from me first on how we're thinking about things today and next week and going forward. First and foremost, wanted to share some updates from this week. We are aggressively pivoting the majority of our resources in Butler and IDL Print in support of Fluid Shields, working closely with a number of partners and working towards 1 million, and actually a greater number than that, creating fluid shields to support the Cleveland Clinic, Johns Hopkins, really extending a call to action and asking all of us who are not on the front lines to support those who are, by way of our expertise and our knowledge and our resources. How do we reallocate those things that we're skilled in providing and provide a productive and a useful solution to folks that can really need it, use it right now. So I want to share the print team is aggressively attacking those production and fulfillment opportunities. They've extended to MarketCraft. I know the MarketCraft team is going to be focused on working on that over the next number of weeks, and just wanted to absolutely contribute and do our part to support the world during this current crisis. So I just couldn't be more proud and appreciative of all the folks that are in support of those efforts right now. Also, just wanted to share our response and some initiatives that we're driving this week. You will be seeing some formal initiatives that we're putting forward with regard to innovation. There are a couple specific projects that we're working on this week I wanted to make note of. Number one, we've been brought into a brainstorm in the consultancy with our partner at Chick-fil-A. Their most significant business constraint and problem right now is getting people through the drive-thru and doing it in a way that's safe for their people. As you probably have experienced, if you've been through a drive-thru, they have a number of employees that will come out and meet you with an iPad. There's a concern for those individual safety, and so how do we develop a program and personal protective equipment that enables that to continue in a smart and helpful and safe way. The second thing we're working on this week is with regard to innovation is supporting ASICS. ASICS has big sales meetings. They have a global summit that they're unfortunately unable to have due to safety and bringing folks in around the world. And as a result, we're going to work on an elevated experience, a virtual opportunity to connect those individuals to the product line, inspire and excite, and figure out ways to augment things that are happening physically. So think VR, AR, how do we walk people through an immersive experience when they're not physically there? So, as we're going through the weeks, the days ahead of us, the quote I continue to kind of drive towards is, it's not the strongest that survive, it's the most adaptable. I believe we are both strong and adaptable, and it's going to be critical that we apply both during this time. Wanted to also just kind of work our way into some questions that the teams asked. So I'll share them. First and foremost, how long can we last in this thing? And hey, just to give some perspective, this IDL organization has been around since the 40s. We've seen wars, we've seen political climates, we've seen the 2001 crash, the 2008 crash. I think the difference in many of those other economic and financial situations is that the number one priority wasn't safety at the center of everything, people's health and well-being. And the challenge I think that humanity is dealing with right now is that how do we balance economics? How do we balance the financial support of companies, of individuals, of the world? You see that the global leaders dealing with the same situation, that on one end we want to get everyone back to work, on the other end we want to watch out for folks' safety. So as we go forward, we want to absolutely put the safety of our people and our families and all our loved ones in the front and center of this. And I recognize right behind that, a tight number two, is the health and wellness of our financials. And the well-being and the way that we can support our family and pay our rent and buy our groceries. I want to assure you that we're going to do everything we can to weather this storm. And that means, like, come hell or high water, I'm hell bent on making sure that we as an organization are going to survive first and foremost. We're going to be around to support all our families in the future. The question then certainly is I have the same questions, like how long can we last before we start to are required really to make some decisions on how we create a bridge from whenever today is to the future. And we are evaluating every possible option that will minimize the number of individuals affected, that will minimize the impact. Want to look at all models that allow us not only to survive, but to thrive coming out of this, and recognize that there may be some short-term challenges that are associated, and want to reduce that as much as we possibly can. I know that doesn't give clear answers, but the view is still a little bit foggy. I can assure you, as we get closer to any significant decision that will affect anyone's life, we will be very, very tight in the communications, and ensure that we can provide the greatest amount of visibility and help everyone plan and prepare for whatever the coming weeks bring. With that said, we are planning next week to be fully operational. We have a number of activities and client work that's still right in front of us. And then as we move forward, week to week, we'll continue to advise and share information and continue to adapt as we evolve. Another question is, hey, what's IDL doing about this? How are we responding? So I want to share a couple things. One is, first and foremost, reallocating a number of resources, as we mentioned, IDL Print and MarketCraft, to focus on the situation at hand and to do our part in supporting the development of fluid shields, other protectional equipment, and we're looking to productize that. We're looking to talk to folks like Starbucks and talk to Chick-fil-A and talk to a lot of other organizations where we can help them with the personal well-being and the health and safety of their employees as well as their clients. Number two, we are developing innovation sessions. So we're talking about, if some of this ends up being the new normal, i.e. virtual walkthroughs of sales meetings or product line reviews with retailers, how do we develop the next best product, the next greatest experience? Someone asked the question, and another key question is, what's the future of experience look like? And guys, our vision hasn't changed. Our belief hasn't changed. We are going to be completely focused on amazing consumer experiences. Now, what that means might change. If amazing experiences is about safety, let's deploy our thinking and creativity and everything that we're about into solving that creative problem. We're going to do that by way of physical experiences as well as by way of digital experiences. What that means to the consumer doesn't change. How we go about delivering it might. The vehicles that we use with regard to physical or digital will continue to evolve, but that is going to be front and center what we're after. In addition, the clients that we're pursuing are those clients that consumers really care about and are emotionally invested in. So that's not going to change, and we're highly focused on that. And I also feel really strongly, human beings are insanely social animals. You can feel it as we're working through these video calls and Zoom chats and other. People are dying to get back to be with one another, and it's going to come back big. And so I want to be not only surviving through this, but we need to be thriving. So we want to continue to push that. And then the last piece, I'd share with all of you in terms of what can you do next. Reach out to across teams, and I know a number of you are already ready. Let's connect with managers. We're going to organize very specific innovation sessions. Please volunteer and contribute to that. Raise your hand and help to support wherever the given need may be, because it may be outside your lane, it may be a little different than your day-to-day, but I'm really asking everyone to engage in this, adapt, contribute, and really be there for one another, because it's going to require that we do that. That it's going to require that we come together and not allow this thing that's happened into the world pull us apart. And so I just appreciate you guys getting after it and developing clever ways to connect and having each other's back, and I value that. And if you need anything, again, please reach out to me. If you have specific questions relating to your situation, reach out to me, talk to your manager. Just continue to stay tightly connected, and we're going to continue to plow through this together. All right, have a great weekend, and take care of yourself.